What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is match preview time. Wolves versus Leeds United. Winless Wolves. Tepid in front of goal, Leeds United, shall we say. Something's got to give, right? Unless it's a 0-0 draw, but I don't see that happening. Someone is coming away with the W. We're going to get into it today, who we think that could be. This is the preview. We're going to do the lineups here, score predictions and everything else, and also Wolves team news as well, as it's important to see where they are at the moment as well. Simon is in the house saying here, the most depressing poll of the season. Poll with 2 L's, Simon. But I hear you. And yeah, that's the poll of who gets the nod on the right. And it is either Harrison or Aronson. So that is where we are, people. So get your thoughts in the comments below. What's going on, Trev? Ash in the house, what's going on? James is saying here, hi KG, must win if we are not to go down. Typical Leeds to lose, though. We will see. We'll get into it, James. And listen, big up to Prosa, who very generous donation. Thank you, Mr. P and Rinaldo. It's Arinda, isn't it? Yeah, thank you for the super thanks on the last videos, guys. Much appreciated. And as always, people, please continue to like the content. Free helps out the channel immensely. Thank you very much. So here we are, people. The preview. Let's get into it. Because both teams, let's say, are near the bottom. And what I found very interesting as well, and I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but even before the Fulham game, I don't know if anyone noticed on the Premier League app, there was previews for every single game, but as there was no preview for Fulham versus Leeds. And what I found as well afterwards, there is very little discussion about Leeds United. And I think that kind of just shows the kind of club we are, because we're not conceding a lot, but we're not scoring. So there's not really much to talk about when it comes to the general media talking about us. And I found that very, very interesting. I guess maybe they'll start talking if we, say, ascend the table or maybe go into the bottom 3. But no one is talking about Leeds United. I've got to say that. I've got to say there's no discussion at all. Slim in the house, man, at work. But I said, let me take my break and watch my guy KG. Shout out to you, Slim. And listen, if you got to go back to work, watch it on the replay, man. It's all good. It's all good. Ash saying here, I've never seen Harrison on the right that I recall. Ash, yep, he's played on all 3 across the front. Not particularly well, but he has done it, Ash. He's played on the left. We tried him through the center. Remember when we were trying to fit him in the team, and people like Somerville and everyone else was staying on the bench just to try and fit him in. And yes, he has played on the right. But yeah, the reason why you don't recall Ash is because he wasn't very good at it. But with the team news, the way that we've got it at the moment, there is a very good chance that he could start, but I think it will be the other option, and that's Brendan. Let's have a look. James saying here, yeah, playing very boring football. As long as we stay up, I'm happy. Yeah, James, I've said it, from the start. My message has not changed. I'm all for a tough grinding season, but we've got to pick up points on the way. If we're going to do it this way, we've got to be on the right side of the 1-0 score lines, not always on the wrong side. And obviously we have not created a lot. There's probably, I don't know the numbers behind, but I think we've created more in the Everton game than we've done in the subsequent games after, which is problematic, isn't it? So yeah, I'm all for a tough season, especially with the makeup of this team. But yeah, please, let's get some wins, and hopefully that starts this weekend. Slim, by the way, do I have to vote on that poll? Those can't be the options in 2025. Those are the options, Slim. So have fun, choose, pick your poison. So yeah, Wolves. And coming into this, though, they have had a little bit of a boost. Their manager, Vitor Pereira, has signed a new contract, and we know that can kind of galvanize a team, that can get, the fans up. They probably thought they were going to lose a coach like him, and I do like him. I don't think he's like the best of the best, but I do think he is a good coach. So, they've got good news with him staying. And also, Jorgen Strand Larsen has signed a new contract there. No release clause included, and it's like a 5+1. They've obviously given him a very hefty pay rise in order, as he didn't get the move to Newcastle. Don't know if he's going to fit this weekend, people, to start. But there are rumblings, I should say, that he will be at least on the bench. So he will be someone we have to look out for, even if he's half fit. Because he is a dangerous striker for me. I like him a lot. Don't think he's a tippy top. I think the Newcastle move would have been a nice move for him. But yeah, he is somebody that I've mentioned before when we did the whole ranking of where we think everyone's going to finish. I think his goals could be a difference maker as to why Wolves eventually do stay up. But hopefully it doesn't start this weekend. That's what we don't want. Zaya here saying, hi, Cage, you're not a fan of this poll. Null and void. I can't do nothing about it, Zaya. I can't do nothing about his eye. We have injuries, we have fitness issues. So one of those are going to have to play. Okay, that's the options. I didn't create this team. I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan. James saying here about Strand Larson, been praying he's not available like I was with Newcastle and Volta, mate. Yeah. We honestly, James, we have to look for every little chink in the armor of the opposition we can. We have to. We anything that we can use in our advantage, we've got to take it. I even look ahead. Looking ahead of. I'm not looking past anybody, but I look at the West Ham game that we're going to have in a few weeks. Got to look at that as one to target. West Ham fans are going to be protesting tomorrow. Speaking of which, by the way, because I was going to mention them later, but as I've just mentioned, West Ham, they have spoken, according to all reports as well. There's many reports that they've spoken to Slaven Bilic and Nuno Espirito Santo. So again, for the people that, because there's a few of you that think that Farke, if he doesn't win this game, will get sacked. I'm not of that belief. I don't think that this board are going to sack Farke unless it gets really desperate. But I've also made my stance clear. I think that with the way they've recruited, I think they're ready for a yo-yo season. I think they're ready to go back down to then try and push to come back up again. I hope I'm wrong. We'll see what happens in January, but I just get the feeling with the way that they've recruited, they're saying, look, I hope we finish 17th, but if we don't, cool. Honestly, I just from the way we recruited people. But yeah, I know that Nuno Espirito Santo is a favorite of a lot of people, but it was obvious that West Ham were going to sound him out. And also, by the way, I think the situation at West Ham is way better than ours. Way better. I mean, the team makeup is you could say it's a Nuno blueprint. They've got some good solid players there, and then you've got an outlet in Bowen. You've got Paqueta there that you can use as well. And Somerville, when he's fit, I would probably say that he'd be more likely to take a West Ham job, if anything. And if he's not going to take the West Ham job, if it does become available, I should say, I think it would be very unlikely for him to come to Leeds United just for what he'd have to work with here. Nuno Espirito Santo's stock is up right now after the job he did at Forest. And even though you could say that he got himself sacked at Forest, he wanted that way out, people will remember that what he did getting Forest from where they were to get them, back into Europe. And that won't be lost on a lot of clubs that are going, if we get rid of this manager, Nuno will come here. So yeah, just giving you the update with this because it does look like another manager will be off the market soon, especially if West Ham have another couple of bad results. Slim going in about the game. If we don't go into this with the mindset to take all 3 points, then what road games? The road games, Slim. The road games, yeah, on the road. Yeah. Are we going to target for wins? Exactly. And that's it as well with this in terms of whatever Wolves have got going on. And you look at the makeup of Wolves' team. Obviously, this is without Strand Larson. This was their last game against Newcastle that they lost 1-0. You can see why they're near the bottom. I don't know what's happened with Saar, but Johnston's in goal and they've got Bentley on the bench. But they've got, it's a whole mishmash of nothing really. You know what I mean? But these are experienced. Some of these are experienced characters in the Premier League, so they've got some know-how. What I don't want to see though is Aroka there. He hasn't scored yet. I think he just made his debut against Newcastle. Don't want him to get his first goals against us. Hwang, who is for me an average player, don't want him to be opening his account against Leeds United. Don't want him to get a double against Leeds United. I think that with what we have in comparison to Wolves, I think it's a near enough match. If Strand Larson is fit to play, though, maybe that tips the scales in their favor from everything that we've got. But I do think with the players that we've got back in, even though we do have a few missing, that this is a great opportunity for Leeds United to go and attack the game. Now, listen, it's all good, Slim. It's all good. Look, I'm guilty of it as well. I know on here sometimes I've said yogurt instead of yogurt. Why would I do that? But sometimes it just comes out. I don't know why. What's going on, Michael, man? I hope you're well. But this game, for me, we've got to attack it. We have to attack this one. We cannot. I want to see more of the Everton blueprint than I do want to see against Newcastle and Fulham. I don't think we need to approach them with so much caution. I don't think Wolves are in that space. They've lost all 4 games. The crowd will be on them. I'm all for keeping it tight for the first 15, 20, get the crowd on edge, get the players on edge a little bit, and then just not open up, but go forward with a bit more intent. I've mentioned on here many times before, when we go forward in slow motion. We go forward with, we're going to go sideways, back. Our attacking players will take 2, 3, 4 touches and allow the defense to get back in formation. I like them just to hit them on transition a bit quicker. Um, yeah, and Z is saying here, attack the game with what DCL. One thing I'll say about the strikers, as much as I don't, think that these strikers, I think this is a good, striking force to challenge for promotion, but they need service, Zaya and everyone else. We need to come on the match reaction that I've already set up, by the way. Click the reminder so you can join me after the game. But we need to come on and say, man, what chances did DCL take today? Man, he was amazing. Or I can't believe DCL missed those chances. And to be fair to them, we don't get to speak to them like that because they don't get no service. They don't get anything in the games. We don't create anything in these games. So it's really hard to fully judge them until they get loads of chances. And yeah, DCL got one chance in the last game, the header, that maybe he could have done better with. But this is the thing I was saying before about the jump up from the championship to the Prem. In the championship, he probably gets another 5-6 opportunities. You saw that he didn't get another one in the whole game against Fulham after that one. So it's important that we create more to give them a little bit more. If they miss one chance, it doesn't have to be focused on because they would have had 2-3 more. What's going on, Chris, man? Member for 90 mode. Big up to you, man. Hyru here. If we don't beat Wolves, are we cooked? Yeah. For me, Hyru, the way I see it is our next two games after this Wolves game is Bournemouth and Spurs. Whether they are home or away, it doesn't matter. They're both at Ellen Road. You're talking about two games. I mean, Tottenham have got a really good clean sheet record under Thomas Frank at the moment. They are playing some real compact football in, complete opposite of what they were doing under Ange last season. And then you got Bournemouth, who I think have won 4 out of 5. Those are not easy games, people. We have got no right to think that we are going to get anything in those games. So to get 3 points at Wolves is vital, man. For me, it's so important. A point, okay, but we need to pick up 3 points at some point again. It can't just be Everton and then a draw at Wolves. That won't be good enough. And we also need to just give more of a confidence hit to Wolves to say, you've lost your opening 5 games. You're going to have to try and come back from that in this very, very tough division. So we need everything that we can in every game possible to accumulate points. Ian saying here, 0-0 written all over this game. I hear it. Johnny saying, I'm so shook. You know what? I think Daniel Farke is nervous as well. And just going by the pre-match press conference, just saying, and shout out to all of you for the feedback on that video as well. And a lot of you did watch it, and you kind of got the same kind of things I was talking about in terms of the mixed messages as well as the defiance. I feel like there is a lot riding on this game, because if you're not going to get 3 points in this one, it is looking like, well, when is it? Because even then, Burnley away after the international break starts to look a bit tough, doesn't it? And it shouldn't do. We should be looking at Burnley going, that's an easy 3 points. But they're doing okay so far, and they've had some real tough fixtures, real tough. So yeah, listen, people are saying, Lord have mercy. Just saw the poll. It is what it is, guys, because as Beren said here, full team news, Aronson versus Harrison down the right. And that is because I know Willie Nanto was seen in the training video and he looks well, but it does look like he might probably go to the bench. And Dan James probably will miss this one. So there will be a space on the right. And obviously Aronson did start on the right against Fulham. And that is why I would keep him there. And listen, again, I don't know why it didn't happen. It didn't happen in the championship, but again, I had a comment yesterday, or was it today, about Aronson. To be fair to Aronson, this is what the comment said. To be fair to Aronson, paraphrasing here, what isn't said about all the defensive work he did before he got subbed off early. No one's taking that into account. And it was an American fan, because then I looked at his previous comments, and it's all to do with American. And this is no disrespect to American fans, but they seem to have come back a bit now we're back in the Prem with Aronson. The point was of the whole video, and I did mention it as well, is that the defensive actions are cool, but you're an attacking player. If he's playing at the number 6 position and he's being asked to defend, valid points. You're an attacking player. We need to see some chance creation. We need to see a goal threat. And that's what we need. That's what we're going to need from Brendan Aronson tomorrow if he is to start. You should have put neither in the poll. Someone's got to play. Someone's got to play. Zaya here saying here, I prefer Aronson off the right than in the 10, but I'd still rather see him not start. Slim here saying, "Give me your 3-5-2 lineup, KG. I prefer that over the winger options." Yeah, I know, but we know what's going to happen tomorrow. I think it will be the 4-3-3 again. So let's go into what I think it will be, or what it could be. We'll take a guess. So you give me your thoughts on the lineup and drop them in the comments as well. But obviously, we know Darlow's starting again as Perry continues to come back from injury. And the thing for me with Perry is it sounds like it could be longer than this, just the 2 games. Again, if they're going to reassess it next week, I hope it isn't a long-term one. I know Darlow did well last week, but it's crazy how things change in it, because before the game, people were nervous about Darlow because of his previous game with Sheffield Wednesday. After the game against Fulham, people are saying he can't be dropped. It's crazy game football, isn't it? But yeah, I'm going with the same 4. So yeah, no Biol for me. I think Strauch and Roda, I think the defense have been absolutely fine. Arsenal, the outlier, I think they've done really well. I wouldn't change it against this Wolves team. The 3 midfield, now this is where we may get a difference of opinion, but I'm going with the midfield that looked absolutely brilliant against Everton. And with Tanaka being in full training this week, he absolutely comes back in for me. He is, for me, the best midfielder we've got all round. I love Ampadu as the defensive midfielder, but I'm talking in terms of possibly creating a goal, possibly scoring one. I think Tanaka is that man, and he also gets back to do the dirty work as well. So stack Ampadu, Tanaka in the 3 midfield for me. Does anyone else have a difference of opinion? Let me know. Hyru here saying, here, I'm American and I don't like Aronson, but he's not good enough. I don't care if he's from the States. If you're good, I'll praise you. If you're bad, I'll call you out. Yeah. I didn't want to generalize, but it's just because obviously I can see previous comments that people leave, and every single comment was like either a defense or trying to sign a player from the MLS that has got no business being in the Premier League, because obviously, I know a lot of Americans are very patriotic and everything is great, but no, just no. Okay, just no. Tom here saying, I just don't see where our goals are going to come from. Lack of creativity in the middle. Fans expect us to get 3 points tomorrow. I just don't see it. Well, Tom, we've got to get 3 points from someone, right? We've got to get one from somewhere. And if we're not looking at Wolves away, who have lost four, they've lost all 4 games, Tom. If we're not looking at this one and thinking that we can get a win here, when do we think? Jackie saying that's far too attacking for Farker. Well, in all fairness, we did start this with Everton, though, didn't we? This was the team against Everton, but Perry in goal. So this would be it. I'll be real with you. When we get to our forward line, this is the bit I don't enjoy, but this is what we've got, people. So I've got Okafor, Calvert-Lewin, and Aronson is the front 3. What are we saying there, people? What are we saying? So yeah, this is what I think it will be. I don't think it will just be a straight 4-3-3, but I didn't have a chance to move them around. But yeah, this is what I think that we could line up with tomorrow. I know some of you will probably think that it's unfair on Longstaff, but by proxy, the 3 against Everton, we was all coming on here after the game saying, I don't know who the man of the match is out of the 3 of them, because they were all absolutely terrific. If we can get those 3 back again and they having that same kind of connection again, let's go, man. Let's go. Sam saying here, a goal from open play would be nice. It would be lovely, wouldn't it? James saying here, but we have the Holy Trinity groove heat map, parade video, and the don't go to bed yet tweet. Tremendous. Rowie here saying here, yeah, I believe that's the front line for Wolves. Sadly, I trust me, I'm with you, man. Pricey saying it's an early 6-pointer. This is Wolves' worst start to a season in years. Plus, I think Larson is injured. No, yeah, but I think he's going to make the bench, Price. So we probably will see maybe if they're chasing a goal, maybe in the last 20, maybe. But yeah, I think he will be involved. Slim saying here, it really isn't bad until you get to the front 3, but that front 3 is very underwhelming. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. But it's all context, though, isn't it, Slim? This isn't bad against Wolves. I mean, I'm comfortable, especially with the defensive midfield, so comfortable against this Wolves team. But then if you're going to go try and match them up when we do a preview against Liverpool, it looks different, doesn't it? So it's all about the game state. It's all about your opposition. And that's why I feel all right about this one. And yes, if we don't win, will I have concerns? Absolutely. I will say that. I will say if we don't get a win here, I will be scratching my head thinking, where is this win coming from? I'll be right with you, people. So yeah, Matt saying here, I think he'll go as per Fulham starting 11, then have Howe and Jack as first subs. So what did Gruev start that game? I've forgotten. Did he start that game? I don't know. Ali here saying, I wouldn't be surprised if Nanto starts. He featured in the training video. Felt like a subtle hint. I think maybe Nanto comes on a sub. But Ali, if you're right, then Aronson out, Nanto on the right. Simple switch. You know, Okafor, Calvert-Lewin, Nanto. That sounds better. If he's fit enough to start, absolutely put Bogle and Nanto down that right hand side. Let them cook. Let them cook. I'd love to see it, man. I'd love to see it. It was Stack, Ampadu, and Longstaff. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Stack, Ampadu, Longstaff. Yeah, no, I like this three better. Yeah, Longstaff's gonna have to hold that. Yeah. So yeah. Listen, people. Let's get into score predictions, man. Let's get into it. I've got one score in mind, and I do. Well, I can see people's point about it possibly being a 0-0. It does have that written all over it, but I think we're going to take the 3 points tomorrow. I do. I think we're going to take the 3 points tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think both teams will be very, very nervous. I think both managers will be very nervous, which will leave it to be an edgy game. So that probably means it will be 4-3. But no, I'm going to go with a 1-0 Leeds win. I think we're going to get it. Yeah, absolutely time to take stack off set pieces. Someone else has to do it, man. Haru going for a 1-1, Matt going for 2-1, Michael going 0-0, Tom's going 2-0 Wolves. Tom really can't see where the win's coming from. But I don't blame you, Tom. It's not negative. I understand it. Rowie here going 2-1 Leeds, Ali going 2-0 Wolves. Yeah, and also with that, Farkas Aronson monologue felt like prepping him for starting. Absolutely. James on playing saying here 2-1 Leeds, Trev going 2-0 Wolves. It's mixed. This is very mixed, man. Jalen going 1-0 Wolves, Johnny going 1-0. Hopefully a deflected scrappy goal from open play, whatever it is. Let's go, man. You know what? Even if it's a set piece, let's go. Let's get the 3 points and figure that out later. OC going here 2-1 Leeds, Okafor from open play, Strat from a corner. Love that. Carl going 1-0 either way. Just hedge your bets, Carl. Love that too. Yes, and of course, AV, hit the likes, people. Please do that. DC Sports Hub going 3-1 to Wolves. Oh, that one hurts, DC. I don't know how we'd be after that game, man. I think we'd actually, I know how it will be. The comment section will be full of Farker out. I know that, and led by Chris Kingy himself. Clive here going here 1-1, give Wolves their first point. That's what we need to avoid. If we are going to stay up, that's the kind of storylines we have to avoid. We have to avoid all these things of being that team that hands players their first goals, teams their first points, like we did against Fulham. Even if you look at Arsenal, I knew we were going to lose the game, but 5-0, Arsenal don't usually do that. They really don't. They don't usually beat teams 5, and we did that. So we got to avoid doing that. So please, hopefully we can avoid any kind of storyline like that. Darren saying here, win or Farker out. I know, Darren, you're very on that train as well. We will speak about that after the game. I'll go 0-0. Diggler going Aronson all day over Harrison. Yeah, let me close the poll. Ian, though, saying here, I would play Longstaff over Stack. He's not much done. Try again. I would play Longstaff over Stack. He's not done much since the Everton game. And I agree with you, Ian. I'm not even disagreeing with you. I think Stack, I've said it after the match against Fulham, actually. I said, I don't know about Stack in this game. It was a very, very mixed bag for me for Anton Stack. So he needs to come better. But Ian, the only reason why I'm putting him in, because if you're right, if you're going over form, even I've got to admit Longstaff has probably been better than Stack overall. This is me that doesn't rate Longstaff. But what I'm hoping for is when we saw them play against Everton, these three were absolutely unbelievable in that game. They were a big reason why Everton couldn't get in the game. So if we can see a repeat of that against Wolves, hopefully that combination comes good for us. So that's the reason why I've got those three again. Matt C, is there a third option on this poll for a traffic cone? Tremendous. And Ash going 1-0. And Darren here going Longstaff, zero creativity. Yeah, that's another thing as well, because even with Stack, I know his shots haven't been great so far, but it does seem like he's going to be one of those where when he does pull off a long ranger at some point, we're going to go, what a hit. So hopefully this is the game as well. And Jeremy going here 1-0 with a Stack win. Okay, let me close the poll. Very mixed on the results. It was pretty obvious where this was going. We've got who gets the nod on the right, Aronson 81%, and Harrison with 19%. So there you go. And that's fair, because again, being fair to Brendan, in the last game, and it's a damning thing, he was probably our best player in terms of being a creative force at the front. When we did actually do something going forward, it was his hooked ball back into the box that give DCL that chance to get a header on goal. And there was another sequence of play as well. So yeah, do your work defensively, Brendan, and that's fine. But let's do some more going forward. And again, being fair, he was probably one of our better players, which tells you a lot. So yeah, people, that is it for the preview, man. I hope everyone is good. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I will see you all after the game tomorrow. Come rain or shine, Leeds, we need 3 points. A point's fine, but 3 points is better. Let's be real. But if he's saying a boring 0-0. Oh, Matt C with a late shout for the lineup. Okay, I prefer Bogle at right wing and Justin at right back. Matt, I don't see that happening. That's way too different. I don't see that happening. You know what, Matt? You've just mentioned Justin. I forgot he was even here. But yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I hear it. But look, I see you all in the one tomorrow, man. Peace out. Have a good one. Like the video before you go. See you tomorrow.